The following show contains views and opinions that may not be suitable for all audiences. Audience discretion is advised.
Welcome to Thespian Talk, everybody. I am your host, Gomer the Ranting Thespian, and my co-host with me is the Cat.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. Omega was gonna be here this week, but, with Hagen coming back from a con and everything, her schedule just suddenly like, oh, shit. So, but, yay for happy spousal wifey time, because that is awesome. The next, whenever I have Omega on with Arik, I need to see if we can pull Hagen on, too, because that would be so awesome. That would be great. But yeah, how has your week been, Kat?
I have a lot of bills coming in, so it could be better.
Oh no, it's that time of the month.
That means something else for a girl, but
well, yeah. And I mean bills time, people. Come on.
Yeah, so it's like I've been having this medical issue with tendonitis in my foot, and then my car died, and I had to get a new battery and some other stuff, and then all the bills just sort of all piled on at once.
Oh, no. Oh, that really sucks. I mean,
I'll live. Yeah. I'll live.
Yeah. Okay, the worst that, the worst that happened to me this week is, in addition to what I get through Patreon to help supplement whatever I can bring in, I donate blood plasma. And if your heart rate is too high, I think it has to be like under 100 in order for you to be able to donate that day. And so I went in, did the blood pressure thing. Blood pressure was fine. Heart rate was like 100 something. So, okay, 15 minutes. 15-minute passes, going again, still high. So they had to defer me for a day and threw my whole goddamn schedule off.
Oh.
But on the upside, I got 15 extra bucks for the entire week, so, because they're doing this promotion period where if you donate twice, you can get up to about $60 total. Mm-hmm. So this week I got a total of 75, which I'm not gonna complain too much. And I have started eating more Dairy Queen simply because they're a lot cheaper and food is just as good and they're right there. Yes, I told Arik that one of the things I wanted to try and do, because there's also a Planet Fitness not far from this plasma center, and it's like, okay, $10 a month, go work out, and then go eat Dairy Queen. And Arik was like, well, wait, aren't you defeating the entire purpose by going and eating ice cream? I'm like, they have burgers and chicken.
Yeah. Yes, and none of that is good for you, bro.
No, it's not, but it's a lot better than the fucking thing. And honestly, it's just something to put in my tummy, so I'll have something more to put in my tummy so I can donate blood plasma without passing out. But, things can work out. And yeah, it's still not good, but, it's better than going and eating ice cream right afterwards, Oh, dear. Yeah, this is why I'm fat, ladies and gentlemen. I fully admit it. So let's go ahead and hit our shout-outs for this week. Mine is a big one, because if you've been paying attention to Twitter and all of the stuff in our little circles, there is a new website that has gone live by the time this goes up, called Circle Plus. It's at circleplus.com, and I believe I have a good description for it. I know Holly Christine just posted it on her Twitter, a good description about it like just a few minutes before we started recording. If I could bring that up real quick, and here we go. As she explains it on Twitter, Circle Plus is a safe space on the internet for women to share our perspectives and our own voices. It's a place for women to be creative. Circle Plus is a place for women to unabashedly be women, plus all the things that make each of us unique. Plus boobs and big round booties. and no, that is not me, that is her, by the way, saying that. So, but in all seriousness, it's to kind of put it simply, it is a website by women for women. A safe space where they can put their own stuff up and feel a little more open about being them, without being, without everybody else being so judgmental, because we know how a lot of women are treated on the internet, especially on video. So this is a safe space for it, and it's pretty cool. So I look forward to it, and by the time this goes up, I hope we'll all have seen it, and if you haven't, then, well, go check it out. It's an audio podcast. You can listen to us while you check out the site. Oh, so that is mine. Kat, do you have one?
Of course not.
Of
No,
course not.
not at all.
None. Ah, well. So yeah. This past week, big thing happened, and it's going to tie into our first news story. I got to touch on it a little bit because we don't have like all of the time in the world, and I know both of us, at least I know I have another show I can talk about this a little bit more in depth on. Shit, we got to schedule that thing a lot better. And for all I know, Josh could bring it up on what the fuck. But the Charleston shooting happened this week, and for what? And I don't have the name of the shooter in front of me, which really I don't care what his name is. He's a fucking terrorist anyway. He decided, you know what? I'm gonna go sit in this black church and I'm gonna worship with these guys, and then suddenly start shooting and killing motherfuckers. Bear in mind, shooter is white, the church is black, and of course the congregation is black. Really horrible. One of them, I believe, was also a state senator or representative as well. So not only did he, not only was this racially involved, he killed a bunch of black people. Of course, it's also a hate crime, but he also killed an elected official. If this guy walks, there's going to be a lot of hell to pay on very many different levels. Yeah, and the reason why I bring it up is our first news story, because it talks about well, a lot of people are wondering, well, why does it happen? When you really don't have to wonder. He pretty much is said outright he's racist and he wants to kill black people because black people are supposedly taking over the country and raping all the white women. Because that's how these kinds of racists think, even though they're totally wrong. But even with that out there, you've got all these news organizations and people wondering, well, why would he do this? And Rick Santorum is one of them. Oh, and he's running for president, by the way. Just want to remind you of that. Presidential candidate and former Senator Rick Santorum of Pennsylvania on Thursday called the attack by a white gunman on a historic black church in Charleston part of a broader assault on religious liberty in America. No! 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 Did I just dumbfound you into silence with that, or am I on the soapbox again?
I have nothing to say so far.
Yeah. Okay. I worry. But it's just no. It is not. No. He says it's obviously a crime of hate. Again, we don't know the rationale. He's a fucking racist. But what other rationale could there be? Santorum said on the New York radio station AM 970. You're sort of lost that somebody could walk into a Bible study in a church and indiscriminately kill people. Well, yeah, that is pretty horrible, walking into a Bible study and killing people just for the hell of it. Okay, that is horrible. I can give you that. Santorum called for a broader pushback against the quote-unquote assaults on religious liberty. You talk about the importance of prayer in this time, and we're now seeing assaults on our religious liberty we've never seen before. It's a time for deeper reflection beyond this horrible situation, he said. The shooting on Wednesday left 9 people dead, including Pastor Clementa Pickney, who also served as a Democratic South Carolina state senator. Okay, he was a senator. So, yeah, killed an elected official. He did it in a church, yes. They were all black. And the killer, the terrorist, and in fact, that there's no other word I can accurately describe him as, but terrorist, because that's what he is. He went in there, he killed them all because they're black. He admitted as such. And Rick Santorum, he's just one of many voices out there that are trying to dance around this particular thing. It's not. Guy's a racist terrorist. That's all he is. He deserves to have the book thrown at him. But you know what? They probably won't treat him like we've treated other quote-unquote terrorists, whether real or imagined, because he probably will not see a day in Guantanamo.
I was gonna say waterboarding sounds kind of like something that should happen to this guy.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't waterboard. That should not necessarily be a thing for like prison things or what have you. But you know what? If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna waterboard terrorists, then you need to do it to all of them and not just the ones that aren't white or not American. He's a white American. Treat him like everybody else. And somebody else out there also made the comparison. Like they called Michael Brown, the guy who was killed in Ferguson, if I'm remembering right. I get them a little bit mixed up, but they're referring to him as a man at 18, and I'm willing to bet, I don't think I've seen it much on my own, but I'm willing to bet that this terrorist, he's 21, and some people are referring to him as a kid. I have to actively...
Oh, no, I've seen it. It. It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, and it's like, no. If Michael Brown was a man at 18, this guy is a man at 21. I mean, I have to catch myself because that's becomes kind of a habit of mine. When they get to a certain age below me, I start calling them kids. Bad habit of mine, I know. So, yeah. But he's not a kid. He is an adult. He knew exactly what he was doing. And from what I'm reading, he also planned this the fuck out. So this is premeditated terrorism right here. And with all the evidence with them being a terrorist, it's like just keep him in jail, throw away the key. Just bye-bye. You don't need to be out here anymore. You lived 21 years in freedom. You had 21 years to get it right. And in your 21st year, you fucked it up. You go away. Bye-bye. That's all. But to get back to Mr. Santorum here. Yeah, no. This is not an attack on religious liberty. An attack on religious liberty would be going in and indiscriminately firing on churches with the intent of killing Christians, or killing Muslims, or Jewish people, or anybody else. This was not religiously based. Yeah, it happened in a church. It happened in a historic black church. This was not religiously motivated. It was racially motivated, and for you to say otherwise, when all of that information is out there, and I want to say a good chunk of it is verified, then...
I mean, they found his manifesto where he talked about how much he wanted to kill black people. If you're in denial about that, then maybe you should return to the planet from whence you came.
Yes. So, in short, Rick Santorum, shut the fuck up.
I mean, that's the moral of every story is Rick Santorum, shut the fuck up.
Yes.
But still.
Ah, yes. Speaking of politicians that need to shut the fuck up. Out of Topeka, Kansas. Hooray. A special legislative committee will meet next week to hear a complaint by fellow legislators against Democratic Representative Valdania Wynn of Kansas City. Insert Oklahoma joke here. The House Select Investigating Committee is scheduled to meet at 8:30 a.m. on June 26th, which is also the day the House and Senate return for the sign die ceremony marking the official end of the 2015 legislative session. 9 Republican members of the House Education Committee signed a formal complaint against Wynn for using quote-unquote inflammatory language during a March 19th hearing on a bill that would have repealed a law that allows some undocumented immigrants to pay in-state tuition at Kansas colleges and universities if they meet other residency and admissions requirements. So what kind of inflammatory language did she use? Let's find out. I have dreaded this day because this is a racist, sexist, fear-mongering bill, Wynn reportedly said, according to a transcript of an audio recording of the hearing. I would like first to apologize to the progressively minded people of Kansas who are appalled that we are turning back the hands of time. Regarding to, and I'm going to use strong language, Jim Crow tactics, and once again making Kansas a laughingstock. And Wynn, who is black, also said that she wanted to apologize to the students and their parents whose lives are being hijacked by the racist bigots who support this bill. All sorts of language in there. Let's see. The bill is a repealing of a law that allows some undocumented immigrants to pay in-state tuition at Kansas colleges if they meet other residency and admissions requirements. So it's basically a way for undocumented immigrants to be able to get an education, at least a little more easily. Is what this bill is trying to repeal, if I'm reading right.
So basically, if they're working their way to becoming a legal citizen because they meet some of these residency and admission requirements, so if they are at least somewhat legit because they have attempted to escape whatever hell they lived in before they moved to fucking Kansas, which I mean, if that's your version of an improvement, then they must have been truly desperate.
Yeah.
And then they basically want to say, no, because you know what? We just really don't want those job-stealing brownies to have anything to do with our universities.
Yeah, because, not only will they steal our jobs, now they'll steal our classrooms. Oh my god. So, yeah, Representative John Barker, a Republican of Abilene? Yeah. A member of the education panel, who also chairs the House Judiciary Committee, objected to Wynn's remarks, saying she just referred to this committee as racist.
She's just calling it as she sees it, brother.
Yeah, and go back a bit, listen to the thing again. Did she mention any committee member as racist, or even the committee as whole? Well, let's see. Okay, racist bigots who support this bill. She didn't say anything about a committee. She's just talking about the people who support it, which could include the committee, I suppose. But no. And she denied that she was calling individual committee members racists. She says she was referring to supporters of the bill. There is a difference. Adding that the bill was an example of what she called institutional racism. Yeah, I tend to agree with her. Because, like you said, like we'd come across and said, hey, these people are trying to better themselves from whence they came, and you're just making it harder because, oh my God, brown people gonna steal our classrooms. Yeah, if that's not institutional racism, I don't know what is. Let's see, the investigating panel, because they got together a panel, and it's made up of 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats. Under the rules of the House, the panel can either dismiss the complaint or make recommendations to the full House for reprimand, censure, or expulsion. Dear. So, and by the way, they do note that the Democrats in this particular, what is the word I'm looking for, panel, the Democrats in this panel, they're not likely to do anything to her in terms of like censuring or expelling or vote or reprimand or whatever. It's not nothing bad is gonna happen to this person. There's basically, these Republicans don't like the words she's using, so they're going to use this time to try and make her look bad and waste taxpayer money. Because they can't handle it. They really can't. Oh my. Yay. So, do you have any additional thoughts on this?
I think that's just a lady who's calling it as she sees it. And honestly, there's very little that Kansas needs to do to make itself into more of a laughingstock of being racist and homophobic and basically a terrible place, which is why the best parts of Kansas are in Missouri. Because even though Missouri is still awful, like Kansas City and kind of Lawrence are pretty much all on the Missouri side, if not actually on the Missouri side.
Yeah.
And it's so sad when another state makes Missouri look good.
That's bad. Oh. Well, then again, Kansas does have Westboro Baptist Church. So
that means they're still worse.
Yes, exactly.
They have no way of improving themselves.
No, not as long as they're still there and active, or at least active to the point to where they pop up in the news every now and then.
I actually feel terrible because I have a lot of friends through conventions who are, of course, more liberal. They're younger and more forward thinking, who live in Kansas, and they're just so embarrassed to live there right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of red states are gonna have people like that. Oh boy. I'm pretty sure I run into them in Alabama too. Thank goodness we're living 3 miles south of Alabama. Maybe, I don't know. But speaking of the South, and I do mean the Southeast, take out your shot glasses, take a drink. It's Florida. Oh boy.
We couldn't go not one episode without something in Florida.
Nope, we couldn't. We could not. Especially when a man who didn't want a bank to sell his foreclosed home tried to blow it up using a bowling ball as an explosive.
Wait, what? He read about this on the internet, didn't he?
Maybe. Tyler Butler, 21, of Loxahatchee, was arrested Monday on charges of arson and using an explosive device, according to a Palm Beach sheriff's arrest report. It started at about 10 p.m. Sunday when several people called 911 and reported a house fire. A person also reported that the foreclosed home's past owner, Butler, was inside. Deputies arrived and detained Butler, but after he left the burning home, as firefighters extinguished the flames, they noticed a bowling ball with what appeared to be a wick attached, according to the report. The sheriff's office bomb squad removed the ball. Witnesses told deputies that before the fire, Butler said he wasn't going to leave this house. He wasn't going to leave the house he used to live in, that he would burn it down, according to the report. Butler told deputies he set things on fire in the home using a cigarette lighter, that he poured gunpowder in a bowling ball and used a rope as a fuse, deputies said.
This man is a cartoon character. This is a cartoon.
He must be. He's like, that only works in cartoons. And usually when you
seriously, this should not really work.
And the thing is, when they do things like that in cartoons, you know, they drill the hole, they put the gunpowder in. It's only one hole. What did he do with the other 2 holes? Bowling balls have 3 holes, dude. Did you plug up the other 2? Did you put the wick in all of them? I mean, what did you do, man?
Science doesn't know.
Yeah. I mean, and how full was the ball full of gunpowder, though? Because if it was, I'm willing to bet, unless it was, like, packed in really full, not much is gonna happen. You know, up to a certain point, I would imagine.
Maybe that's why the house was only on fire and not totally exploded.
That's possible. Very possible. Of course, he also forgot to light the damn thing on fire, too. I guess
maybe he was hoping it would catch, and then it would be like, he'd have enough time to get away, and then, like, there would be this giant explosion while he was walking away dramatically, because real cool guys don't look at explosions.
Yeah, it will make a cool shot, but that makes it very easy for the authorities to catch you, sir.
This is not a smart man.
No!
He tried to blow up his house with a bowling ball. This is not a smart man.
No! Folks, you shouldn't do this, but if you're going to, don't use a bowling ball. There are other ways to do it.
If you're going to blow up your house, do it right. Leave the furnace on.
There you go.
Please don't blow up your houses. We're not in any way, shape, or form trying to tell you to blow up your houses. Just, please don't destroy things.
No, do not. No. Unless they're smaller and replaceable, then you can destroy them all you want. I don't care. But, don't blow up your house, because, you live there and all your shit is there.
I don't care about you or your shit. You might accidentally burn down your neighbor's house, and that's not cool.
That also is a very valid and relevant point. Oh, all right. Next one comes out of Sacramento. We're just having Republicans just coming in this week, because this is another Republican story. Yay, or not yay? I don't know. A Republican lawmaker accidentally cast his party's first vote for the California budget in years because he was distracted by Facebook. Assemblyman Scott Wilk was the sole Republican to vote for California's record $117.5 billion spending plan on Monday. The Santa Clara lawmaker clarified that he accidentally supported the bill in the Capitol while opposing it on Facebook. He posted on Twitter, "My wife is right. I can't multitask." California's budget is being negotiated between Governor Jerry Brown and Democratic legislative leaders. They have yet to reach a final deal. Wilk's blunder won't show up on the official legislative record because the Assembly allows lawmakers to change their official votes. He did so after session ended, receiving applause from fellow Republicans and boos from Democrats. That is some bullshit, I think. Because it's like, you should be paying utmost attention during these things, even if you're not going to vote. If for no other reason than to pay attention and make sure you don't accidentally vote. And if you vote for something in the wrong way because you weren't paying fucking attention, then I'm sorry, you're stuck with it. You should be, at least. And I am willing to bet if the shoe was on the other foot, if a Democrat had done something like this, Republicans would be all up in arms. They would be bitching left and right and up and down, saying, you shouldn't do that. It should stick. He fought for it. It should stick. Tell me I'm wrong.
This is really stupid because what the fuck? I can't, at my job fuck around on my phone the whole time. And I just work retail, and I can't even have my phone out in front of a customer because that might send the wrong message. What kind of a message is this sending to Americans that a lawmaker gives so little of a shit about the laws that they are enacting that he's not even willing to pay attention in what little fucking work these people do? Mm-hmm. So the rare times that they're actually in session and doing work, and he can't even be bothered to pay attention to what he's voting for. That's fucked up.
It is. It's like, dude, yeah. If you know what, I think his vote should have stuck because you're supposed to pay attention.
I think he should be fired.
Yeah, there you go. Fire his ass. And then tell tell Nestle to stop sucking up the water over there. Now this one is actually kind of local to me, and I say kind of because Geneva, Alabama. It's within I want to say it is within 20 miles of me. That much I can know for sure.
So this is almost Florida.
It's almost Florida, yes. Well, maybe 20, 25, 30, somewhere around there. A Geneva man was arrested after reportedly having sex with his wife's dog, which is bad enough. But the reason why, Jonathan Edward Medley, 39, was taken into custody late Friday night and charged with misdemeanor animal cruelty, the Dothan Eagle reported. A cash bond was set at $535. So that's, well, see, this is also kind of fucked up, because why is it a misdemeanor? You fucked a dog! And you got out on $535 bail. What the fuck? It is Alabama. Let's see. He was mad at his wife because she paid more attention to the dog than him, so he had sex with the dog, Geneva Police Captain Ricky Morgan told the newspaper. His wife...
Curiosity, what kind of a dog is this?
We'll find out. His wife actually thought he was having an affair with another woman and hid a recording device. She learned he was in fact molesting the dog. The news station reported the dog, which suffered injuries, is a 2-year-old male Shih Tzu named Buster.
Oh, dude, you fucked a Shih Tzu? No wonder it suffered injuries.
Yeah? It's like, no. I mean, god damn. I mean, I've heard jokes like in the furry fandom of like bigger animals needing duct tape or whatever to like have sex with a squirrel or something, but that's all pretend. You're not supposed to actually do
without
this.
hearing any of that.
Yeah, fair enough. I think most of ours could too, but there's a point. That is all fictional. That and played for laughs. This guy, this is not something you emulate, sir. I want to like look at this guy and just like, what the fuck, dude? Okay, you're jealous of a dog. Really? How insecure are you? Oh, wow.
There's so many easier ways to deal with the fact that your wife doesn't love you. Have an affair, like, with a real person. Like, not with an animal. Go out, get yourself a hooker. Do something to make her jealous. Flirt with her friends. Be a man. Do the man stuff. The terrible things that we joke about men doing. Go do all that dumb shit.
Yeah, and then you'll
harm an animal. Go do something stupid with another consenting human adult. Don't fuck animals.
Yeah, which, by the way, they also changed the charge from misdemeanor animal cruelty to misdemeanor bestiality on Monday afternoon.
Well, see, that'll get you animal cruelty. People can be like, and bestiality is like one of those words where like you're not allowed to go to your church anymore. So maybe that's better, because maybe there'll be more repercussions that way. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh lordy. And you know what? If he's that thirsty for women, and you don't want to be like, or actually, you know what? He may not even necessarily want a woman. Maybe he wants a man. Oh, because it's obvious he has no problems fucking a male dog. What about a male human? There are plenty of gay guys around here. Go find one. There you go.
Seriously, go get yourself a prostitute.
Yeah.
It's so much more therapeutic than fucking a dog.
Yeah, and guess what? I know where one lives. I'm not going to say on the air, but I know where one lives. So, yeah, come find me. I will point you in her direction. And this next one actually Magic Steve sent me. It's out of Lansing, Michigan. School officials should be held financially or criminally liable if they tell a student it's okay to be gay and he or she contracts a deadly sexually transmitted disease, Michigan State Representative Clary Ginn said in a documentary filmed before he took office. Glenn, a Republican of Midland, shared his views in a 30-minute film released this year titled Light Winds: How to Overcome the Criminalization of Christianity, which features a series of interviews with political and faith leaders. Okay, First of all, I take issue with what I'm pretty sure the premise of this film is. Christianity is not being criminalized. It's not. It's
just
isn't.
Not. Stop pretending like you guys are under attack. You're not. You personally are under attack because you're a fucking moron. Your faith is not under attack. Just because you don't like what people have to say about it doesn't mean it's under attack or that you are somehow being persecuted, because you're not.
No, it's not. It's like this, it's like you've seen like the pie charts where it's like there's this big majority Pac-Man looking section for Christianity, and then there are like other things in the middle of it, and Christianity is crying out, "We're being oppressed." That's what I'm thinking of.
Tell you what, mister, I have to write a book about how awesome I am for whatever it is he thinks he did. The moment that you're put in an internment camp for being Christian, you can come tell me about fighting for your oppressed religion. Until then, shut the fuck up.
Exactly. If some young person hears at school that it's okay to be gay and then comes down with a fatal disease as a result, school officials should be held legally liable, individually and in their official capacities, financially and maybe even criminally, Glenn said in the film. No. See, it is okay.
Oh my god, he's living in the 90s.
Oh, Lordy.
This is somebody who still thinks that AIDS are a gay disease. This is that person.
Yeah, it's like, no, even Sam Kinison. Then this was back like in the 80s, and he was talking about this. Well, obviously, he didn't live too far into the 90s. But back in the 80s, Sam Kinison was like, yeah, it's a communicable disease. Heterosexuals die of it too. Durr! Just a paid version of the documentary, which also features GOP presidential candidate Mike Fuckabee. No, yes, I am referring to him as Fuckabee because he is a fuckwit. Discussing religious freedom has been available online since at least April, but a clip featuring Glenn's segment was posted to YouTube this week and highlighted by the Right Wing Watch website. The interview was filmed in 2013, according to Glenn, who was also president of the American Family Association of Michigan and co-authored the state's gay marriage ban, which was approved by voters in 2004 and is now before the U.S. Supreme Court. Glenn said Thursday he does not have plans to introduce legislation to penalize school officials if the gay students later contracted disease, but indicated that he still agrees with the legal theory and would not be surprised to see lawsuits on the issue. Watch him. He's going to ghostwrite if you watch.
Oh my god.
It's like, no.
This man does not live in the same century as the rest of us.
No, he does not.
And this is one of those people who would preach abstinence only and then wonder why there are so many like youth pregnancies and like youth STDs going around. Because if you teach people that having sex is okay as long as you are using protection and you are being safe, then you don't get a shit ton of teen pregnancies and STDs. So this is someone who by default probably believes in abstinence only.
Probably.
And so doesn't want people to be informed and make consensual adult decisions and be okay with their bodies. And then thinks that gays are these people who get all of these deadly diseases because only the gays get the AIDS. And then thinks that schools should be held responsible when really it's parents that should be held responsible.
Yeah, I thought the Republican Party at one point was the party of personal responsibility, or was that just a dream? Because there's not a lot of personal responsibility there if you're going to hold the schools accountable, but not the parents. Just saying. So, if the school environment is teaching children that homosexual behavior is normal and healthy, and children, in reliance on what they are taught from authority figures, decide to experiment or engage in such behavior and suffer negative health consequences, somebody ought to be held accountable, he said. Let's see. Homosexuality, yes, it is normal, it is healthy. And if they're relying on what they're taught from authority figures, then it stands to show that the authority figures, if realizing that kids, teenagers are going to experiment sexually, armed with the knowledge to be able to do it safely. Just duh. Let's see. Members of the LGBT community are at an increased risk for some sexually transmitted diseases, including AIDS, according to the There's yeah.
I can't get over it because we were exactly right.
Yeah, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which says there is a need for culturally competent medical care and prevention services for the population. Differences in sexual behavior account for some of these disparities, but others are associated with social and structural inequities, such as the stigma and discrimination that LGBT populations experience, according to the CDC. Glenn, asked if the schools could help reduce health risks for the LGBT community by teaching safe sex, said he is old-fashioned in that respect and thinks such education should largely fall to a child's family.
So he is a fucking moron because he doesn't believe that you should be teaching safe sex in school, but thinks that you should be able to blame the school for telling people that being gay is okay.
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking moron.
He is. And you know what? He was elected by voters in parts of Midland and Bay counties in 2014, and he is, of course, a vocal opponent of same-sex marriage, and has fought attempts to enact LGBT that was weird, to enact LGBT anti-discrimination laws and ordinances across the state. So he's basically, yeah, I'm in power. I want to oppress these gay people because icky.
They make me uncomfortable.
Yeah, they make him uncomfortable, and I'm pretty sure there's religious reasons in there too. Because what else could it be? Other than just plain up bigotry. He also continues to serve as president of AFA Michigan, which recently filed a legal brief with the Supreme Court urging respect for Michigan's definition of marriage as a union between one man and one woman. No! Sorry, you shouldn't get that respect. You really should not. Because
you don't get respect. You're an asshole. You're an idiot.
Yeah, because see, here's the thing. The government is there to help ensure everybody has a chance to succeed in their pursuit of happiness. And if that means that one of us wants to go marry somebody that has the same equipment as we do, then we should be allowed to do that. And you guys in the government, as long as we're not physically harming anybody, then you know what? Give us a goddamn marriage license, and we'll go do our own thing and leave everybody else the fuck alone.
Because if somebody's marriage upsets your marriage or is in some way a problem for you, you need to learn to mind your own fucking business because it's not a problem for you unless you're going to go out of your way to make it a problem for you.
Yeah, and if you still claim that it is a problem for you at the end of the day, then you have issues that you need to work on yourself and not project them and take them out on everybody else.
You could be like that those people in Australia who just want to get divorced if gay marriage is because if you have so many problems that you need to blame the gays and such for it, then maybe you should just get divorced or something.
Yeah, it's just people like this are just fucking stupid. But you know what? We'll have a lighter fucking stupid person because we're going back to Florida.
No, how is this better?
Well, it's not quite. It's definitely okay. I don't know how much better it is, but this is out of Titusville, Florida. I have family there, so this is also kind of holy shit. Deputies searching for a murder suspect found him hiding inside of the refrigerator of a Titusville home, Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey said. Damian Young, 22, is the fifth person charged with first-degree murder in the death of 28-year-old Rashawn Berry. Berry's body was found dumped on the side of State Road 50 in May. Investigators say the group lured Berry to a motel with a promise of prostitution. They planned to rob him, and when Berry fought back, he was shot and killed. There's David Richardson, Sir Algernon Ingram, Kendrick Kitchen, and Lauren Hudgens also face first-degree murder charges, according to the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. The only reason I put this in, the last guy was found hiding in a refrigerator. What the fuck? I mean, okay, you are on the run for a murder rap. Where is the first place you're gonna go?
I mean, unless there's a nuclear bomb about to explode, I don't see the point of being in a refrigerator.
No, this
is an Indiana Jones reference.
Yes, for those who don't get it.
For those who don't get it, because that's the level of ridiculous we're looking at here, people.
Yes, it's like, oh my god. And you know what?
Was the refrigerator on?
It doesn't say.
Because that would be like the...
That would be the ice. That would be the topping and the icing on the cake.
The icing. That would be the freezing, the other word puns here. I can't imagine that the refrigerator was on because he would be dead, but...
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why would you... Why would you go there? Why did you do this?
I don't know. And here's another thing. How did they figure out he was hiding in the refrigerator? I wonder. Because it's like, you don't normally think to look for people in refrigerators when you're searching for somebody.
I mean, if you're searching like a crime scene, you're gonna open up everything just to look for evidence. So maybe they found him there, but it's a hell of a place to hide.
Yeah, it's like, oh god, yes, no. But the first place I would go if I'm trying to run away from a murder rap, out of fucking Dodge. That's where I would go. It's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. I mean, yeah. Let's see, you're in Titusville. It's only like maybe a 4 or 5 hour drive north, and there you go, you're in Georgia. So, assuming you can drive, but hey, and that everybody else got caught. Holy shit, how did they get caught? Or are they caught? I don't think it says.
Maybe they were hiding in the washer and dryer.
Maybe. That would be hilarious. I mean, and I really am glad these guys are getting caught and brought in. And brought to justice, because that is good. But oh my god, that guy, you're a stupid idiot. Yeah. All right, and last one.
You a stupid hoe. You a stupid hoe.
Yes. and you brought up the couple who promised a divorce if gay marriage was legalized.
Oh goody! Were we going to talk about that? 'Cause holy shit.
Not directly. But because one Texas pastor has taken his opposition to marriage equality one step further. Rick Scarborough, a Baptist pastor and Christian political activist, has said he would be willing to be burned to death in his fight against gay rights.
Sweet! Oh, I said that out loud.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the fire of Jesus in him.
Yes, and he wants to show it to you. Oh.
This guy could be on Game of Thrones.
He could. He made the bizarre pledge while speaking to E.W. Jackson, a right-wing minister and politician, on the National Emergency Coalition show, a podcast linked to Jackson's group, Staying True to America's National Destiny, or STAND. Speaking about his commitment to traditional values in the face of public condemnation, Scarborough said, "We are not going to bow, we are not going to bend, and if necessary, we will burn." You're not Buddhist enough for that. I don't think you are, sir. You don't have the balls. I don't think. Scarborough did not specify whether he was talking about self-immolation or being burned for his views by other people. On the same show, the preacher made another pledge to sacrifice himself for his views, this time talking about the persecution of lay Christians who oppose gay rights, such as the Oregon bakers who refused to make a cake for a gay wedding.
My problem with all of these so righteous Christians is that they love being martyrs. And I don't know how many times I've mentioned this on this show or on What the Fuck, but all Christians love to be a martyr in some way or another because it makes them feel like they are so fucking righteous. When sometimes it's really just you are so firmly planted and set in your ways that you cannot possibly accept anything different. But it makes you feel righteous to stand your ground when you really should be moving on and changing and growing, especially if that allows you in your religion to become more Christ-like. People would rather cement themselves with the devil in order to pretend to be Christ-like than to actually emulate the things they say they believe in.
Yep. And oh, wait. There's a hashtag popping up there. Hashtag not all Christians. Oh, shit. Did one of us say all Christians? Shit.
No, just some. Not everybody, but a lot of people.
Yeah.
The people that we talk about on this show. Obviously not you, our dear listeners, because you wouldn't be listening to us if you weren't progressive.
Yeah.
In some fashion.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that the whole, to take a slight tangent for a moment here, the whole hashtag not all thing or whatever, I say it a lot as a joke or whatever, but there are people out there that do it seriously or what have you, and it's like, we know this. Most people would understand that not all blank. So, So that's a stupid thing. And of course, we do understand, you listeners understand that. We know that. We know you understand. I have enough confidence in you guys to understand that. He said the preachers need to get out front, the leaders need to get out front of these ordinary citizens and say, shoot me first. Would not make
happily. I gotta stop saying what's on my mind.
Oopsie. When not making boldly suicidal claims on internet radio shows, Scarborough can be found running Vision America, an organization that aims to inform, encourage, and mobilize pastors and their congregations to be proactive in restoring Judeo-Christian values to America, like stoning sinners and
not touching the skin of a pig and not wearing cloth made of two different threads or whatever that is.
Yeah, and not touching a woman while she's on her period. You know, and of course, if they go back, then they would also, you know, if they went back to those things, then they would rewind, and a lot of trans people would be very, very upset because they would never be seen as the gender they want to be seen. So, yeah. Basically, if they go back to these Judeo-Christian values that this guy is talking about, it'd be disastrous.
Women would still be property if these people had their way.
Yeah, and it's like, no, I love women, but I don't want to own one. I don't want to own anybody. Thank you. And I don't think you want to be owned by anybody.
No, definitely not, because I'm not a fucking piece of property.
Exactly.
And, like, I don't think that people who talk about Judeo-Christian, like the historical beauty of you know, their morals and everything, they don't really see things. They see, oh, it was a simpler time, it was a better time, people didn't do this and that. No, people did that. People did all of the terrible things. People have been doing horrible things. People have been gay and trans all throughout history. This isn't something new because we suddenly are more, you know, like, we're more steeped in sin now than we were before. People just hid it all their lives for centuries, for millennia. And now we've created a world that is more accepting of differences. And that's what they can't handle. They can't handle that things are different and they don't know how to deal with that. So they want things to be the way they were, but things were never the way they thought they were.
Exactly. Gay people have always been here. Trans people have always been here. Black people have always been here. In fact, I would argue that black people have probably been here longer than us whiteys. Willing to bet. Just you know, just.
Well, you'd have
guessing.
to believe in evolution and.
Oh wait.
Again, some things that some free people just can't handle.
Yes. Yeah. Except everybody who says it, and I admit I fall guilty to this as well. Evolution is not a belief. It's actually a fact, and it's something we can actually look up, and we can, you know, it's a science thing. But, you know, that's me. I'm nitpicking. I admit. This guy also has previously called AIDS God's judgment and is the author of the 2006 book Liberalism Kills Kids.
Oh my God! This guy, I mean, if there is a God, this guy is not ever going to meet him.
No, or if he does, he's not going to like the meeting.
Yeah.
Because if he meets his God is going to be like, yeah, you an asshole, you going to hell.
Jesus was pretty specific about the love thy neighbor thing.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, love your neighbor. And in fact, I think even Jesus said love your enemies too. Not just...
I mean, they were pretty clear about these people, like, just, they're so, you know, they love telling people about their just and loving God. They don't like to emulate the just and loving part.
No, they want the God of fire and brimstone because the special effects are so much cooler.
Sinners in the hands of an angry God. Go read that.
Yes. Oh, lordy. Oh, so that is all for our news. We got a few minutes left, actually, of some extra stuff. And, of course, I have some links here that have been kind of sitting around for a while, little things here and there. And I'm actually going to pull up something because, honestly, with Circle Plus coming around and just E3 also happening, which I might talk about a little bit later on, like a separate video or something. But with E3 coming around, having come and gone, and Anita Sarkeesian coming out, and other people coming out and saying things, men's rights activists, of course, come out of the woodwork as well. Oh dear. So what I have here, and what I've also sent to Kat, was something I found from Mike.com. Yeah. Mike.com, and this is admittedly like a few months old. I originally was going to have it in an episode of Constructive Deconstruction, But we see how that turned out. Holy shit, the scheduling problems. But this one is called "The 8 Biggest Lies Men's Rights Activists Spread About Women," because men's rights activists and these neoconservatives that want to restore Judeo-Christian values, is there really much difference between the two at this point? Do you think?
I mean, I think it's about where the butthurt is at. That's the difference, is where the butthurt is.
Aha. So, all right, the first biggest lie that MRAs have spread about women: feminists hate men and are out to turn the world against them. Kat, do you consider yourself a feminist?
Yeah.
Do you hate men?
No.
Are you trying to turn the world against men?
No.
Alrighty then. How many women do you know that would do this?
Hold on. If I count on all my fingers and all my toes, it would still be none.
There you go. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. well, at least a similar boat. My girlfriend, similarly feminist, and I don't think she hates men, because if she hated men, she wouldn't be with me. Just saying. And I know somebody would be like, "Oh, what if she's using you?" She's not. Trust me. She is too much of a sweetheart to use somebody like that. Number 2, feminists are hypocrites because chivalry is a female privilege. What? There's a popular meme that says feminists call differential treatment chivalry when we like it and sexism when we don't. This is false. The supposed perks of being a lady are largely the result of benevolent sexism, a set of behaviors shown to be harmful to both women and social activism, specifically because people often fail to see them for what they really are. Practices steeped in the restrictive stereotypes of masculinity and femininity that hinder gender equality by keeping men in a position of dominance over women. This is not to say people should treat each other poorly, because chivalry and civility are not the same thing. Being decent to someone because you're a conscientious human being is different from being decent to someone because that someone is a delicate, helpless lady. So in other words, like, say, if I hold a door open for Kat for whatever, I do it because, I'm a decent goddamn human being. I'm not doing it because I don't think she could push the door open, for example.
Yes, and you should be aware that sometimes when you do that sort of thing, like hold a door open for somebody, you really are sending them the message that they can't do that themselves for some reason. Like, just be a decent fucking human being and hold the door open for anybody, regardless of race, gender, age, sex, whatever. Just do it.
Yeah. I mean, hell, I can tell you, like, the other day, I held the door, on my way out of the Dairy Queen. There was a family right behind me, and I was like, you know what, here, hold the door open, they're all going through, and it was, there was males, females, kids, older people, younger people, and of course, that's kind of also a more understandable thing, because I think they got takeout, so, their hands were a little full, so, hey, you know what, it's a nice thing to do. So, yeah. And I think when it comes to holding the door open, I think motive is a lot behind it. If your motive is just, hey, you know what, I'm going to be nice, then do it. But if it's steeped in sexism or what have you, then yeah, don't do it.
If you think it's going to get a girl to notice you, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it's just no. Number 3, the courts are biased against men and in favor of women in custody disputes. Oh dear. One of the biggest sticking points for the MRA community is the argument that the courts actively discriminate against men in custody disputes. While it's true that women more often get custody, it's far more complicated than a systematic bias that turns dads into the real victims of custody battles, as opposed to, the children. Most disputes are settled out of court, meaning that custody placement does not rest in the hands of judges, most of whom are men, by the way. Just 4% of cases actually go to trial, and mothers often get custody in large part because, on average, they're still the primary caretakers of children. That's not bias, and it's not even necessarily a good thing, it's just a fact. Oft-cited statistics that only 10 to 15% of fathers are granted sole custody are skewed because they include couples who have agreed to grant the mother custody or to joint custody. When men do seek primary physical custody in a disputed divorce, about 50% get it. So, yeah, not really any anymore anything I can really say it, it's like, yeah. We are running a little low on time, so let's go on to number 4. Male circumcision is just as bad as female genital mutilation.
Woo! That is a dangerous thing to say.
Yeah, because you know what? Yeah, you know what? As somebody who, I know it's TMI, but who has been circumcised, I can still use and get a good amount of pleasure from my equipment. From my understanding, if a woman gets her clit cut off, it would be like basically cutting the head off a dude's penis, if my understanding is right.
I'm trying not to think too hard about this because it's not something that is ever a good thing to think about. But when you think about the countries where this happens, this is used solely for the express purpose of mutilating women and putting them into a subservient position, and it's really bad. It is really bad.
Yeah, and while circumcising a baby boy, not necessarily a good thing at this point. No, it's not. Nobody's discounting that. But genitally mutilating a woman or any female or anybody that was born with a clitoris, for that matter, just so they wouldn't be able to enjoy sex when they get old enough, or if they are old enough, that is steeped a lot more. Because a lot of the times when you hear about male babies being circumcised, what's one of the reasons for it? Cleanliness. Helps keep it clean down there. Except if you teach a guy how to actually wash properly, that won't be an issue. So yeah, men, the guys who get it, it's usually done for medical reasons. It's not done because, we want to take the pleasure of sex away from them. And that's where the whole misogyny comes in. Because like we said, why does it happen to women? They don't want them to enjoy sex.
I mean, there's a reason why everybody is like, "Ooh, female genital mutilation is horrible." People are like, with circumcision, you're like, ugh. People do it, people don't do it, whatever. Female genital mutilation is assault. It's so terrible that it's a human rights violation.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like, we don't even do it in this country for the most part. Like, I've never heard of a case of it really happening here, whereas it runs rampant in some of the worst places in the world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And for all you ladies who are still listening after all of that, I do apologize. But number 5, we got to move a little quickly. Avoiding conscription is a female privilege. Not really, because I think the reason I'm gonna guess that the reason why females are not conscripted with like the draft or what have you is because they're on this pedestal of being a homemaker. They are the ones that pop out the babies to feed into the war machine. I'm guessing, because it's just they're on that pedestal, and that's not good either, because
yeah, you couldn't in any war, you couldn't send all your women off because all of your young men were out there dying, and somebody has to repopulate the species. I think was the line of thinking that they had with conscription.
Yeah,
so you can't send the women off; they're too weak.
Yeah, I seem to remember like a woman, like I want to say during the Revolutionary War. I don't remember her name, and it kind of bothers me. But I remember hearing stories about a woman who like took control of like a cannon or letter regiment or whatever, and she helped fight against the redcoats, and even George Washington was like, you know what, this lady's badass, and he made her a sergeant. So and that was pretty awesome. But yeah, and of course, not to mention, I'm pretty sure some of the mindset is, we don't want to put them in a position to where their male counterparts would try and rape them. Which, again, you have that risk, but you have that risk anywhere, really. I think. I again, could be wrong.
In a perfect world, nobody would have to get drafted.
Yeah.
It's not like women want men to get drafted. It's not like women want us to go to war and to need this. It's like, we just don't want it to happen at all.
Yeah. Let's work towards that, then we can just boot that to the side, whatever. Okay, number 6. Men's media depiction is worse than women's.
On what planet? On what planet?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there is some eye candy for the ladies out there, of course. Avengers.
No, so my brother was bitching about the new Magic Mike movie because if you made that movie about female prostitutes, it would be sexist. Because you're objectifying women, but when you're objectifying men, it's okay. And I thought, what are you talking about? Women in all movies are prostitutes. I don't know if you've ever seen a movie.
Yeah.
Like, every other movie has a female prostitute in it.
Yeah. And women in just about every movie out there are objectified in some way, whether it's in the movie itself or by the audience.
Yeah, like, I don't know if you've noticed how women are portrayed, but women are objectified no matter what. Men are objectified too.
Yeah, we're all objectified.
It's just a matter of how honest you're being with it.
Yeah, honestly, we all are. Just, is it a good thing that we're all objectified? Nah, if you don't take it too far, then whatever. But to the extent that some people take it, yeah, that's not healthy. That's not a good thing. Ease your ass back. Number 7, false rape allegations are endemic. No, they're not. Because the reason, again, I'm going by memory here, and I can probably take a glance at the article at the same time, just in the matter of full disclosure here. I'm willing to bet that the reason why a lot of women and even men who are raped are afraid to come forward is because they're worried that people aren't going to believe them for various reasons, like, oh, so and so could not have actually done that, they're so good. Like we've seen and talked about various rape stories. I'm thinking like Steubenville, for example. Even with the evidence right there, how many people defended those kids? Because they were on camera, they raped the girl, but yet they're like, oh, they had such bright futures ahead of them, we don't want to ruin their futures. What about their futures?
They have great bright futures as more raping. Like, yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. So it's like there's one reason why. Another reason why is because as few as it is, there are like very, 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 very few rape allegations that are outright false. Very few. But the ones that do get out, they're powerful enough to make people second guess things. And of course, that gets blown up everywhere, and of course it gets blown out of proportion, and of course, Oy. And this also ties into number 8, the last one. Feminists want to turn everything into rape. No.
Feminists want to make it into a world where we don't have to talk about rape anymore.
Yeah, not on the regular. Not even semi-regular.
We want to talk about rape as history.
Yes. It should be something that is a very rare thing, and when the person is caught and proven to be the rapist in question, and all of that good stuff, then they are dealt with swiftly and justly and basically made an example of. It's to say, yeah, you rape somebody, this is what happens to you. Don't do it. Shouldn't do it anyway, but for those who don't have the empathy or the humanity to not do it out of pure principle, this is what will happen to you. Maybe it'll get through. I don't know. Oh. So, yeah, wow, we ended that one on a kind of a darker one. Wow, didn't we?
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Well, we can end it a little lighter. Like I said at the beginning of the show, circleplus.com. Go ahead, go check that out. Some peeps on my site are there. Miss Nightmare is on there. Lady Jess, of course, she's one of the heads of the site. Holly Christine, she's also
Holly.
Yes. I don't know if she's producing anything, but I know she's helping run the site. Wow. Just she's busy. And as well as a few others that you should go and you check out their stuff. It'll be awesome. And speaking of sites, I really should have put this at the beginning of the show as well, and I'll make sure to mention it at the top of the next show as well. But my site, RT Gomer Productions, we are splitting off a little bit. We are going to open up what I'm tentatively calling a Let's Play Emporium, which, like the name suggests, we're going to feature nothing but Let's Players. We've got a few on the site already that, of course, they're going to be pulled over into there. And we've got auditions open for Let's Players in specific. Check out my Twitter, Gomer21XX, and I'll post the link every few hours. Check it if you're a Let's Player, you want to check it out, send me your stuff, then feel free to do so. And hopefully WordPress will not eat them. I've already had to go and dig 2 out of its mouth because it decided, hey, I want to eat these, nom nom.
So the next time your teacher asks where your homework is,
WordPress.
It's WordPress.
Yes. WordPress ate my homework. There you go. Oh, so with that, we're going to get out of here for now. Kat, if we wanted to find you on the social media, where could we find you?
You can find me over on Twitter at LabyrinthCat, and you can find me on Facebook.com/NerdistCat, and then you can check out my other shows. I do a show called What the Fuck over with Josh Hadley and Charlie McMullen, which is over on 1201beyond.com, and you can find my other show, which is a lot less depressing than this. Nerd to the Third Power. We talk about nerd geek stuff, which is over on channelawesome.com, This Week in Geek, iTunes, and YouTube.
Yes. And if you wanted to find me on the social medias and talk to me, you can find me on Twitter and Tumblr and a few other places like that at Gomer21XX. You can find my Facebook group, Gomer the Ranting Thespian, over on Facebook if you want to go give it a like and check out some stuff. I actually, there are some things I only post on there outside of Patreon or whatever. So if you want to keep caught up on things, like I do post some vlogs on there that you're not going to see on the site or what have you. So if you really want to keep up with me, there you go. And I will try and do that more often. Speaking of sites, my site, rtgomer.com, is where I primarily have my stuff, which, of course, like I said, we're going to be splitting off into the Let's Play Emporium as well. And you can also find my stuff over on nerdvice.com, which is another site that is being at least partially ran by Holly Christine. I swear, she is so busy. Oh. So with that, thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you next time. And until then, this is Gomer the Ranting Thespian with the cat, signing off.
Thespian Talk is an RT Gomer Productions presentation. Our show's theme is Kick Shock by Kevin MacLeod. Find out more at incompetech.com. If you like this show and want to help support future episodes, head over to patreon.com/Gomer21XX. For a contribution as little as $1 per production, you can get early access to all future productions, as well as monthly Patreon-only vlogs and announcements. Our show's artwork was produced by the talented Becky Hopkins, who can be commissioned by going to patreon.com/BeckyHop. Check us out on iTunes or visit rtgomer.com for more great shows.